Hello everyone. This is the poem from the book Hornbill, which is for class 11. The first poem of the book. A photograph by Shirley Toulson. A photograph. What is a photograph? A photograph is a moment which is freezed forever. A photograph freezes a particular moment, particular action, particular feeling, or something like that. Now, most of us back at our home, we have family albums, and there are various photographs of various times. And one of the favorite, pastime is to go through those albums. Now, sometimes we go through those albums. We know some people who are there in the photographs. Sometimes we are not aware of. The things are before our time. And many of the people we may not know. So this entire album that we go through is a journey through time when we see things happening. When we look at certain photograph, we smile. Sometimes there are tears in our eyes. So this photograph, actually, when we are looking at this album, when we are looking at, it brings a feeling of nostalgia. We are reminded of a moment of in past. We are reminded of the things which have happened. It brings back those precious moments to us once again. So this poem, Photograph by Shirley Toulson, is nostalgic in its nature. So now we will go through the poem. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera, a sweet face, my mother's. That was before I was born, and the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. The cardboard shows me. Now, what is this cardboard? This cardboard is just a frame or something like that, where this photograph is being pasted. And what is this photograph about? This photograph is about poet's mother with her two girl cousins on a sea holiday. Now the poet describes her mother. She was the eldest of all three, and both of the cousins, they were holding hand of poet's mother. Poet's mother was 12 years or so. Now everyone, they were at the sea shore, paddling, walking in the water, enjoying their time over there. And mother's uncle was there with the camera. And they all stood still to smile through their hair all on over their face, giving a pose for the camera. Now, poet says, a sweet face, my mother's. She feels that her mother's face was sweet face. And she says that this photograph was taken before she was born, long before she was born. Now everything in the photograph was long before she was born. As she looks the sea, which is in the background. What she says. And the sea which appears to have changeless. Appears to have changeless. Hardly any change in that sea which was there in the background. Washed their terribly transient feet. Terribly transient. Here the figure of speech used is alliteration. Terribly transient. But when we take it terribly transient feet, there is another figure of speech which has been used over here, and that is synecdoche. Synecdoche. Synecdoche is a figure of speech where the part represents the whole and the whole represents the part. Now feet. What does the feet represent over here? The three girls who were standing in that picture, in that photograph. Now these two lines, they also point out to another thing. And what is that thing? That it points out to the aspect, immortal aspect of nature, the sea which is in the background. There is hardly any change in that. The nature is immortal, but the people who are standing there, they are mortals. They are transients. They may have passed away. There may have been changes in them. So, it also points out to the fact that the nature is permanent and the human beings are temporary. Now you may remember a poem back in class 9th, The Brook. The men may come, the men may go, but I go on forever. Brook there represented nature. Men are mortal, human beings are mortal, nature is immortal. In these two lines, and the sea which appears to have changeless was their terribly transient feet, the poet points out towards that particular aspect, the immortal aspect of the nature and the mortal and transient aspect of the human beings. Some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter, both wry with labored ease of loss. Some 20-30 years later, 20-30 years later means what? 20-30 years later after that photograph was taken. Whenever the mother would look at that snapshot, that photograph, she would laugh. She would laugh at the way they were dressed up for their holidays, sea holidays. Now here we come to know that other two girls, along with poet's mother, in that photograph, mother's cousin, they were Betty and Dolly. She would laugh, she would remember those moments. She would laugh the way they were dressed up for the sea holiday. The sea holiday was her past. Now those moments have become a thing of past for mother. And what does the poet say? Mine is her laughter. Mother's laughter has become a thing of past for the poet. The mother has grown up. She has other responsibilities. She is no more able to enjoy those carefree, careless days of her childhood. The sea holidays of her childhood had become a past for her. And for poet, mother's laughter has become a thing of past. Maybe mother is no more. Both wry with the labored ease of loss. Both are disappointed. Both are trying hard with the labored ease of loss. Labored. They are working hard. They are trying their best. For what? To ease the pain of loss of their respective losses. Mother misses her childhood days of sea holidays. Poet misses her mother's laughter. Now they both have tried very hard to ease, to calm down the pain of loss, labored ease of loss. Here we see oxymoron. Labored, working hard for what? Easing the pain. Labored ease of loss. Now here we come to the last stanza. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. And of this circumstance, there's nothing to say at all. It's silence, silences. Now she has been dead. Now who is this she? She is poet's mother. Dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. Which girl? The girl in the photograph. So from here we can infer that the poet's mother died some 12 years ago. It is almost 12 years since poet lost her mother. As many years as that girl lived. Now that girl lived in the photograph 12 years. And of this circumstance, which circumstance? Loss of her mother. Poet says that there is nothing to say at all. Poet says that this circumstance of losing her mother, there's nothing to say at all. She has nothing to say at all. It's silence, silences. It's silence, silences. Whose silence? The silence created as a result of the death of the mother. The vacuum which has been created in the life of the poet. Its silence silences. The circumstance, the death of poet's mother. Poet says that she has nothing to say at all. And that circumstance has created a vacuum in poet's life which has silenced all her feelings, which has silenced all her emotions, which has left her so empty that she has nothing to say at all. She is speechless, she is wordless, she has nothing to say and express. Now that is all from the poem, A Photograph.